Good afternoon, everyone. It is week 9 of the Listing League. Trundling on. We've got Simon with us today. I always get my pointing wrong. How you doing, Simon? You all right?
Yeah, I am good. Faye sends her huge apologies.
Well, we had Faye on last week, didn't we? So you can just do alternates. It's quite good.
Yeah,
I've just literally rushed back from like the post office, and even though it's been a quiet week, I think, as we'll see in a minute, I seem to always be down the post office with like bag upon bag of parcels. I don't know how. It doesn't seem like I'm selling anything, but I always seem to be sending stuff.
You've started doing next day dispatch, haven't you? So you're always going to be there now.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a transition period, and I'll talk about that when I do my numbers. I've sort of, I do this every once in a while. I take stock and then kind of redo how I'm doing stuff. I think I did it about 3 months ago, just before I went on holiday. I took everything off my shop and then put it back on, and it was just a sort of reset. And I'm in the middle of one at the moment, so that's my excuse in early. We've got a few people watching. We've got Shabba. Good to see you, Shabba. Thanks for sending your numbers. RS reselling. That is it retro selling? Oh, I should know this. I'm terrible. As you know, I'm terrible with names.
Just trying to remember what RS stood for in RS Cosworth. What was that? Like the old cars.
Let us know in the chat. I think it's retro. It's not retro reselling, is it? But he's definitely a part-timer, I know that. Limelight Vintage in. Good to see you, Limelight. And Damien's here. Angela is in her attic. We've got JJ. Thanks for your numbers, Mandy. Got those in. I'm hoping this week there's not going to be any errors. I had a couple of deliberate mistakes last week, which was...
You were awarding people listings last week, weren't you?
I know. I need to do that on my own ones. Leanne's in. Good to see you, Leanne. Emsden. Retro Pursuit. Yes, Retro Pursuit. You didn't send your numbers on the Monday as the deadline is Monday, but there we go. You've got them in the chat. 80 listed, 65 sold. Let us know how your week's been, Lee, and how you found it this week. There's been a bit of a theme this week of people sending numbers in and kind of got this kind of like, it's a difficult week this week, finding it, motivation difficult, or just generally numbers. I'll go through each one as we go through the numbers. I've got them all on Instagram. I just had a message from James because he normally joins us, but he says he's outsourcing at the moment, which is fair enough. He needs to get more stock. It's one of my excuses for not listing as many. I've been out trying to source. There's Santa. Good to see you, Santa. But it's cold up there. Richard's in. Peter Stride. Good to see you, Pete. Thanks for your numbers. And Jack, thanks for your numbers. Chris is in. Pete the Jar. I don't know who that is. Someone I used to know. Sam's all right. I don't know if I've got any numbers for you, Sam. Definitely not in what's coming up, but let us know in the chat if you have got numbers. And shall we crack straight on? Let's try and get this done in half an hour so I can get on and list some stuff. So I haven't shared it again. How do I share? Share screen. There we go. So yes, I would say it's not a competition, and really what I've kind of found out about this is you find out more about yourself and what you're doing and kind of where you are. And I've sort of said my balance has been out, and I've been reassessing this week. So, and I also had decided, because I went into this listing 10 a day, and I found
he's stalling.
It's low. Okay, it's low. So I was kind of thinking, I'm going to not do many per day this week, and because I thought, well, we've got a big long period where boot fairs aren't on. I'm going through old stuff, so in the end, I only listed 20 items. It's terrible, that is. I could do that in a day, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it started off at kind of like 5 a day, and then I had a couple of days out where I was picking things up, so I was out all day, quite a way away. I was up the M40. It's like a bit of a way for me, and then it got towards the end of the week, and I'd suddenly decided to have my rejig of all my items. So I'd taken 200 items off my store. I was in the process of making them free post, and I kind of put the week down to, it was just kind of like, well, that week, it's a bad week. I'm going to sort of write it off. So I'm not that
stock.
I've got, well, the whole, I mean, I have mentioned this before in my Monday chats. Like, I would like to list 10 things a day minimum, really would be my ideal. But the reality of that is, if you were sourcing every single week, January through to December, you'd be sourcing like 70 items a week. And when I go to boot fairs, so say if I do 3 boot fairs and your camera falls over.
It's hanging out on the floor.
We now get to see the rest of your room.
Yeah, you got to see my legs.
But the reality is, like, when I go to a boot fair, especially this time of the year, and it's a pretty pants boot fair, it's quite difficult to list that amount. So this is why I sort of like I've cut back a little bit. I mean, my average selling price is still, I think, in terms of sales, my average selling price is around about 30, which is quite good, 30 to 35. And as long as I sell kind of like, 30 to 35 items, you're right, Simon.
Yeah, keep talking.
I'll just keep on.
Looking for some time.
Well, you can do the maths on that. 30 times 35, or 35 times 30 per week in terms of turnover. It's around about a grand turnover, which is kind of like okay as a minimum amount. I'd rather have 50. I'd rather have a higher average selling price. But this week, what have I sold? 26. So not too good as well. Nothing amazing in there. Sometimes I might have a 200, 300 pound item in there, but I don't think there's anything absolutely amazing in there. It's just one of those weeks, really. Just one of those weeks.
Quick question about your, before we move on. So you said you changed to free post. Are you doing that? Are you doing first class free post? Are you doing it for top rated seller plus status, or are you sticking with second class?
Second class. It's not for top rated seller badge.
Right.
I'm not that fussed about that. It's purely for kind of customer service, and it'll only be on items that are very easy to pack, as I sort of said yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So there we go. Let's pretend that that's actually a mistake there, and it's 200 listed and 260 sold. I'm sure that must be what's happened. There we go. What can I say? And I think everybody has these weeks, and that's the good thing we've seen with other people submitting their numbers. Sometimes people submit low listed weeks, and it's just the way it is. Andrew, let's have a look at you. You've got a comment in here. Here we go. He's part-time, I know that. And he said as well, he's had no listing motivation this week. I mean, do you get that, Simon? Just some days, or, it could be 2-3 days, or, even longer.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just you're not into it, are you?
Sometimes I'm really, really into it. But I list I do more of the Amazon listing than eBay listing, so it's a bit of a different kettle of fish in terms of my work is then I've got to, if I'm doing puzzles or, well, not so much, but if I'm doing games, I've got to check the parts and all that, which I guess if you sell games on eBay, you've still got to do.
Yeah.
There's not the actual physical listing on Amazon that sort of takes the time or the effort.
No, just scan your
barcode.
Yeah.
So eBay, when I end up with a pile of stuff for eBay because it's more sort of my domain to list than Faye's, because she sort of does more of the clothes and I do more of the other stuff, then yeah, definitely it just piles up on this blue chair behind me. And once I can't see the chair anymore, it's kind of time to deal with it.
I'm a bit like that. I kind of have all these rules that I never really stick to, but at least I kind of think, well, at least I have the rules. Now, one of my rules is like I have a like a plastic tub about the size of a banana box, but it's about that, and I kind of think, okay, that's where I'm going to put the stuff I've got to list, and then there's another one same size, and that's the stuff that I've listed. It's got to go down to the shelves, and there shouldn't be any stuff out of these boxes, so the room should be really, really tidy. Of course, it never works like that.
It's like things like this. I picked this up. It's a hay puzzle. Some people watching probably know about these. They're quite collectible. This one's from 1974. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle, but I don't know if it's meant to be 1,000-piece. So it's just in the background. It has to go on eBay. It can't go on Amazon. It's really collectible. I'll get good money for it, but it's just bringing myself to get on with it.
Don't you do that thing? Because I know not all puzzles are exactly 1,000, but like you can just do the two edges up to the corner and times one by the other, and if it comes to 1,024, you then can just count them or whatever it is.
Honestly, I think it's So if you don't know what the count should be, then that is a good way of doing it. If you know what the count should be, then counting them is quicker. Well, I mean, you've still got to count the pieces, whatever, haven't you? But to find the number, like you say, that is a really good way of doing it.
Neil says he has listing crates. Once I have one or two full crates, I do photos and lists. It's a good way of doing it. And like I say, my method's there. Me sticking to it is another story. And there's a plastic box in there with a few bits in, and then like there's a sofa bed that's covered in just junk. So there you go. I'm not the world's tidiest. Andrew has sold 22. Coats and jumpers starting to fly out, which makes sense because we're going into really into autumn at the moment. This is James, and he, like I say, he's out sourcing at the moment. He's managed to do 70, but I was watching him yesterday, and he said he was on Monday and Tuesday. He was doing a listing group with some people from Daily Refinement as a bit of motivational, get up and go, va-va-voom. And I remember him saying, he managed to list 40 on the Monday and 30 on the Tuesday. And then he found he was running out of stock. It looks like he's just done Monday and Tuesday and then put his feet up the rest of the week, which is all right. But then again, he has said he does tend to do that. He tends to work really hard at the start of the week and then leave 3 days, which is quite a good way of going about it. Hit it hard and then free yourself up later on in the week. And he's obviously freed himself up today to go out and do some sourcing, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's my favourite bit.
Yes, I like sourcing. When it's there, I love sourcing. It's a frustrating thing, boot fairs at the moment. I'm going round and it's very end of season. It's a bit kind of like, nothing great here. Anyway, sold 35, which I think normally he likes to sell a little bit more than that. But, like I say, it is ups and downs with eBay. You never can tell. Let's have a look at your numbers. What's he said? Oh, he sent me a picture of an N64 earlier and was wondering if it was any good. So he has 36 listed, around about 5 a day, 22 sold. Quite a few people are having low sales. I think a few people have said, sales, not great on eBay. When you sort of, you get it on Facebook quite a bit, like, is anyone else's eBay sales down? And really, I don't think it's a general problem with eBay. Maybe, people are looking at their money, but I think, if there's someone having bad sales, there's always someone having good sales. I don't think it's an eBay thing.
But you could ask on Facebook, I think.
Yeah. Is it the same for you? Because
whatever you're feeling, it's gonna go the other way.
Yeah, you kind of want everyone to say, "Oh, yes, it's a problem with eBay," but You know, if you've got low sales, there's always something you can do about it. But he says the lowest units sold for ages. He's had a couple of nice sales though. So he's looks like he sold a combi video recorder for over 100, and a Freeview HD recorder for 75. So yeah, nice couple of sales. He also says he's very low on stock. He's listing shoes and clothes this week, and a couple of CRTs. I don't like. I sold a couple of CRTs. Last one I did was a collection only, so I was quite glad that was picked up. This is Peter Stride. He's local to me, so I'm always interested in what Peter's done. He's normally around about the sort of 90 listed, so he's listed 83. He said he was a bit tired last week, trying to push through. He didn't do the midweek boots, which is unusual for him. He sold 68. So again, very good sales. You know, week on week, he's been listing high numbers. So, you know, that's stood him in good stead. I've got lots of suggestions for jigsaws.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's interesting. We have a girl in the village that does them for us, but like ones like this I was talking about, and they're a little bit too precious to be carting around the village.
I don't know if this will help. This it's a 40 by 25. Is that the same puzzle that you've got there? A hay loop.
40 by. That's interesting, Leanne. This one is that centimetre? Yeah, it must be. No, this is
40 by 25 pieces. That'll be, wouldn't it?
1,000 pieces, 40 by 25 centimetres.
No. Pieces. 40 pieces.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I see.
Yeah, 40 pieces.
Oh, that's
40
helpful.
Pieces. So you'd know it was 1,000. That's what I was saying about counting the edges. You know.
Well, I just counted one, so I have another one, and it was 1530. It was no. Oh no, it was a snoop. I've just counted to 1,500, and it was 1,530, but it wasn't a hay.
I used to do quite a few puzzles. It used to drive me bonkers trying to. I'm
just going to take a. I know I could come. Oh, where's that guy?
I'll
take a picture of that. Thank you. Message. Oh yeah.
Looks like she's gonna do some bit more research.
This one is the Great Western, the Loop Great Western.
That's a bit of an awkward one for an Amazon box, isn't it? A triangle, you know, you prefer it to be a rectangular box, wouldn't you? But there you go.
Yeah.
If you can get two of them, maybe you can make a square.
A square, yeah.
So Cinema Music's I was doing some listing yesterday, some really old stuff. I think it's practically. I should have taken it to the Antiques Roadshow. I had a Ted Baker polo shirt, which was in the wrong category, I was told, and got relisted at $9.99 free post. I did. Funny thing about doing a lot of this relisting of old stuff, I've sold quite a few old bits that have been hanging around, and I got an offer on my polo shirt yesterday. It was up for $9.99 free post, which is like really, really cheap. Someone came along and offered me £3 for it. So there we go. It would actually probably cost me more to send it if I accepted that offer. So I countered with $9.99, you know, as you do. So that's what I tend to do if I get a ridiculous offer. It's probably Chris who sent the offer. Who knows? Jack. That's Jack been. Jack has a lot of media, always high on the sale, on the listings and the sales. He's done 105 this week, and what he said is he's trying to consistently do 15 a day, and then if he does any more than that, if he's really in the groove of it, he's sticking them in the draft bank, which is a good, you know, way of doing it. And it's just queuing up for that rainy day when you want to, you know, have a bit of an easier day, or if you're going out sourcing, you can just use your drafts. Managed to sell 166 as well. So sort of typical Jack numbers, really, you know, working consistently hard at it. I think more and more, you know, it is about this being able to get that regular supply. That sourcing is so vital if you want to get some consistency. It sounds silly saying it, but you know, sourcing and buying right is key to it all. Here's Mandy. Amanda is normally a 15 a day, but I think she's, what has she said? Been a bit lazy this week. She's getting ready for a big Halloween party. Fantastic. So 84 listed, 63 sold. Fantastic numbers. This is Luke, who's local to me, so another one I'm interested in. And a lot of the local people always have higher numbers than me. So 59 listed, 50 sold. And that will be all sort of gaming consoles and then odd bits of generalist sort of car boot stuff. So all good value stuff. Jess, 197. Amazing numbers. 112 sold. Did she say anything about this? What she said, 82 were putting things back in stock. So obviously it'd taken them off. That needed some alteration to them. Needed some more cleaning and testing. So it was like tinkering with stuff as well. Would have been a bit more, but I've had a cold. Is what she says. So it could have been even more than that. Here we go, Simon.
Oh gosh, I've got to think of something to say now.
Right, 67. What's it mainly been? Is it just mixture?
Say again.
What's it been? What sort of stuff? Mixture stuff or?
Yeah, mixture stuff. We got a massive haul of Denby Colonial Blue ceramics. So cups and saucers, plates, casserole dishes, teapot, all that sort of stuff. So that's in there. That was a nice little find. £50 for, it was 49 pieces.
Are you selling them in like groups of 4 or?
Yeah. Sometimes. So there's 2 mugs. We listed those individually because sometimes not everyone wants a pair, or so we listed them. I think in that case they were slightly different. There was markings on one, and Faye decided to list those separately. But yeah, because when I'm packing, I find myself sort of constantly going to Faye and saying, "Can we make bigger bundles? Can we make this more worthwhile?" You know, sometimes I'll be doing a cup and a saucer, thinking I'd rather wait a little bit longer and sell 2 or 3 cups and saucers together.
Yeah, there we go.
It's just.
Leanne's got some info on that puzzle. So there it is, 1,000 pieces.
Oh, 1,000 pieces. Yeah, I just counted
999.
I've just done. Oh, sorry, Leanne will probably be interested in seeing this. That's copy art, and yeah, that was 1,000, and I think that's the same dimension. No, it's not, different dimensions. Thanks very much, Leanne. Very, very helpful.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of Denby and a lot of books, not so much games and stuff, not so much my domain.
Do you have all your packing material? Like, I mean, do you have a stack of boxes, double wall boxes for that sort of ready for when that stuff goes? Or if you got a load of Denby, would you think, I better go and, I mean, do you buy boxes? Do you get them free? Or
no, we tend to get boxes for free. My brother and sister-in-law do Amazon, so they've always got lots of boxes from wholesalers and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, bubble wrap I buy, but I mean, we ran out of bubble wrap last weekend, and then it's sod's law that you start selling breakables when you know you haven't got any bubble wrap for Monday.
Yeah.
And I was sending plates out without using a single piece of bubble wrap.
What were you doing? Like putting cardboard between them? Or
cardboard, a lot of cardboard. Anything you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
So I nearly packed something in a bag for life, like put it in a bag for life, and then packed it. And I thought, no, I can't do that though. Yeah. So when we've got lots of breakables, particularly that are in demand.
Yeah.
Actually, our figures are skewed by 1, I think, because they accidentally listed 8 of the Denby Colonial Blue Bowls for $12.99 when they sell individually for $12.99.
Oh, wow.
6 of them, and within half an hour they sold. And she said, "Oh no, I'm going to have to cancel that order." I said, "Okay, well, you know the consequences, you know what can happen." So we cancelled the order, and then we got a snotty message from the customer saying, "Oh, you've just cancelled that because it's sold fast and you think you can get more." And I replied and said, "We've just listed a whole load of Denby Blue. We know exactly what it's worth. It was a mistake." That's if that's what you want to think, that's fine, but that's not what happened. It was an error, and we've cancelled the order. Another snotty message back. Anyway, it turns out.
What reason did you choose on the drop down? You know,
that it was out of stock or damaged. Because
so that's where you get the
responsibility.
Yeah.
We took, because that's all we could. You know, it wasn't a problem with the address, and it wasn't the buyer wanted to cancel. So that's the only other option you got. Anyway, I had a quick look at their eBay store, and turned out they were a reseller selling on an individual account,
on a private account.
But I just said to them, "Really sorry that you feel that way, but as a person, as an individual that buys to sell for profit, I'm sure you'll understand. Sorry for our mistake." And that was the end of that.
Can you get feedback on that, or is it because
we could do, but it was a shot from me. It was a shot off the bow to sort of try and put them off.
Interesting. Be interested to see how that turns out. Okay, you sold 39. So, I mean, are you happy with your week, or just a so-so week? You know.
I think we're kind of happy with the week. I think. I think if Faye was here, she'd be quite
high numbers.
I don't think it's just me. It was okay. There was some nice sales in there.
An okay week.
This week we've nearly listed 2/3 of 67, so we should have a good week this week.
Well on your way there. I keep thinking I should put enough in for the last week, but I haven't listed anything. I still haven't listed anything this week, anything new anyway. Like I said, I've been going through like hundreds of old listings. Richard. Richard. Here we go. 0 listed. So he's still catching up. He still managed to sell 57. So Richard always, normally would sell like loads, list loads of things. So again, that's stood him in good stead. He's hoping next week he'll get a bit more back into the groove, and better numbers to come for the last week. Pete's Retro. Here he is, Retro Pete. 34 listed. I don't think I've made any mistakes yet, which is nice. We've still got a few people, so it could still happen. He sold 38. 4 of them were quick flips. So, 4 of the items that he listed sold in the same week, which is always good. At that sort of like flow of sales. Z was talking about it, and he was sort of saying more and more he kind of thinks if you can source high value, quick selling stuff, that would be ideal. But of course, that's the trick, isn't it? Where is this great big pile of high value, quick selling stuff that no one else is going to have?
It's in a warehouse somewhere, no one knows.
A magic warehouse. But that's exactly right. I couldn't agree more with him there. Here's Shabba. He has listed 41. Has his week been? He said he's listed 41. He sold 30, but it would have been 31 if one sold had paid me. So there we go. There's always one, isn't there? It's just typical that you're let down. I mean, I've had that quite a few times. I've had big old sales cancelled, and you kind of think, oh yeah, that kind of like £200-300 sale would really sort me out, and then they cancel it. Let's have a look at your numbers. M was the one with 2 shops. I've just managed to lock my phone. 195 lists. Oh yes, I remember this. I think a lot of this was patterns or something. Here we go. Yes, 195 listed. That's 160 sets of knitting patterns and 35 clothing listings. And it's that whole thing of if you've niched down and you're just sort of doing magazines, or you're just doing CDs, or you're just doing DVDs, or whatever it is, you can really, get through huge quantities of listings because you're pretty much repeating. And I'm sure it's pretty simple just to do a sell similar. You know what things to change the title, and change maybe the odd bit in the listing. But you can certainly get it through it a lot quicker than if you're doing, 195 unique items. It'll probably take me the best part of 6 months to do that. So 195 listed, that's absolutely amazing. 44 sales, and they're saying that sales also fallen off a cliff. Like I say, a lot of people are saying that. We had a sale recently, and as soon as it ended, our sales dropped. So you do hear people say that about promotions as well. If they're on a promotion, or a marketing campaign, and then they stop it, they very much see things come to a bit of a dead stop.
Yeah, I've given up on like the sale and markdown. I just do coupons.
Yeah, I've not tried coupons yet, and Lee was saying I should try it, so I may well give that a go. This is Robin, I think. Yes. It was pretty similar numbers to last week, actually. He's listed 19, 12 have sold. He says he would have liked to have get a few more listed, but it's just one of those weeks, I think. And then I think that's the last one. That is the last one. I don't think I've missed anyone off. Let's see if I haven't got any numbers from Derek. I think that's because he's away in Turkey at the moment, which is fair enough.
It's not a good enough excuse.
It's not a good enough excuse. I kind of think he should be sourcing in Turkey, and everyone's got a mobile phone. So.
He's got I was going to say he's got the internet.
Yeah,
it's his problem.
So I think generally, looking at those and looking at mine, it's just kind of like one of those weeks where I've got other stuff on, and sometimes that's the case, and sometimes if you have a few days where it's just not happening, it can put your whole week out, and you just think, oh, I'll reset next week and get back on it then. So you've got Nick in. Hello, Nick, or Andrew, or both. Good to see you. I wonder how they're doing, because they've recently moved. I mean, I just the thought of moving fills me with dread. I don't think I'll ever move again. You moved, what was it, a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're three now. It feels like longer, but yeah, that was the first time we'd moved with the business.
Yeah,
we only moved 15 minutes away, which in some ways probably made it harder because we just didn't feel I need to get a big van. We're just running it back and forward in the car. But
it is the most stressful thing, I think, and the most upheaval you can put yourself through. So that'll obviously affect your working week for a good amount of time, I would think.
Just the admin, the address admin stuff, and even the selling platforms, that can cause problems whilst they verify details and all that sort of stuff. So but no, I hope everything's going well for
Pete's listing consoles today, so I bet he wished he could have 195 knitting patterns to list, but he's had to set up test, swap in and out 40 bits clean. Magazines are faster. Yeah, Pete occasionally gets like a big, batch of karate magazines or something, and it's so nice. Like, I've done a lot of DVD, like replacement DVDs, and it's so nice just sitting down and doing that. Even though it might not be huge value, it's just nice to sort of get into that groove sometimes.
Yeah, I saw Leanne just asked about our videos, so I'll just quickly say we have got a couple in the pipeline. It's just we've been a bit busy, but there will be more videos back. And Peter, can I mention the Facebook group for spare board games?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Which is too late now because it's there, but it's
no, you can't. Get rid of that.
Yeah, okay. So if anyone's not a member of this Facebook group, please join it. We just swap and
let me make
spares, and and someone, I mean, I post all our like stacks of games. I'll wait a couple of months and then do a big stack. I've sent out 2 parts today to people, just for the price of postage, and there's lots of sort of swapping that goes on within the group.
Yeah.
And someone a few days ago posted a massive list. I've forgotten who it was. I would mention them if I could remember. A massive list of stuff that they've got. So if you do games and toys and stuff, jump on the Facebook group and see if there's anything you need.
Fantastic. I'll have a look at that later, because I do have some board games with some missing parts. So we are on to the last week next week. And like I say, in future, I think what we'll do is we'll go a little break, probably for a month and a half, and then we'll start again for season 2. And I think for the next sort of like time we do this, we're going to do an 8-week span. 10 weeks has been, the last couple of weeks have been quite difficult, really, to sort of, keep the consistency up and keep going. So make it a little bit more shorter and a little more compact. But for now, I'll let everyone get on and list. That's what we're here to do. Thanks, Simon, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks to hello in the chat.
Yes, fantastic to hear how your week's been, and what you got coming up next week. Just sort of sourcing listing.
Yeah, we'll get back to auction this weekend. We've not done the auction for ages, so there's definite auction. We need to sell at a car boot, but I don't think honestly that's going to happen this side of this side of the new season. And we desperately need to. Well, we need a good couple of solid sourcing days when we take the dogs to the in-laws and just go out all day long and get Amazon filled up. That's really what we need to do.
Right, I better go because my wife's ringing me. So that's it. I think she's actually locked out. She's forgotten her keys. So I'll catch you all later. Take it easy.
Take care. Bye for now.